Hmm.
And my partner at the time, he started astral projecting and he didn't know what it was. Simultaneously, I'm trying to learn how to do it, and he thought he died. It feels right. Give yourself a hug. It's that version of you, the school you, and the you now can hug and know you're safe.
Oh, I'm seeing some girl. It's not a modern girl. It's a back in the time era. But after a few seconds, immediately after that incident, I was like, oh, I didn't wake up. I was sleeping here. And then was I seeing a dream or something? But I actually felt that my body wake up. But later on, I realized that was not my physical body who woke up. That was my. Why don't we remember our past lives? Because
That comes of it. And if you truly want to live a life of freedom, you have to forgive.
how would you justify that fact that people say, oh, this is nothing, this is just an imagination, it never happened?
Hello to all my soul family. Welcome back to your own channel. Today, we are going to have this podcast with Britta Albert. She's a spiritual life coach, personal coach, YouTuber, and an entrepreneur.
Today, she's here to explain all about past lives, little bit about astral travel. So let's welcome her. Hello, Brita. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Brita. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Brita, let's start with your spiritual journey. Like, how did you get into this field?
So, about 7 or 8 years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
learned about astral projection and I learned about the power of manifesting in your astral projection. So, what I was learning at that time essentially is that when you practice manifestation and you're in an actual astral projection,
Mm-hmm.
then that speeds up the process of the manifestation. So, where I was in my life, that's what I wanted. So I started on the journey to try to astral project. And
Mm-hmm.
my partner at the time, he started astral projecting and he didn't know what it was. Simultaneously, I'm trying to learn how to do it, and he thought he died. He told me about this terrifying experience that he had. He fell asleep on
Oh,
the couch and then
oh,
woke up out of his body, and he thought he passed away. And I'm like, how did you astral project? And I have been
yes,
trying.
yes. You astral traveled, right? Did you astral travel with your own wish or manifestation, or it happened all of a sudden, like without your choice?
So
How
for
was that?
me, I I've done something similar, and it might be a form of astral projection, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not done in any of the ways that I've been taught. I haven't been able to lay down and come out of my body that way. The only time I've had experiences is either through a dream or
Mm-hmm.
um, through meditation. So I've had the first experience. I was meditating and I cannot clear my mind. So I just have to kind of go with it when I meditate.
Yes.
And I just kind of follow the rabbit hole and I tell my body, show me what you want me to know, show me what I need to see. And it took me inside my brain to where my pineal is. And my thought was, I want to open my pineal permanently. I
You
want to,
mean you mean your subconscious mind? It took you deep down in your brain, like your subconscious mind, right?
right,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where I actually saw where
Yes.
where the pineal gland was in my mind,
Mm.
and it
Oh.
was calcified.
Mm.
And I met one of my guides who showed me how to open it permanently, and we
Mm.
created this symbiotic environment within myself that it would constantly receive what it needed and be giving to the body what it needed in order to stay open and not calcify. And that was all just through meditation. So I didn't fall asleep. I didn't, I wasn't even laying down. I was just sitting down on the floor. But that's kind of what I have experienced with astral projection.
So when you were saying you met your spiritual guide, did you did you see your spiritual guide, or
And
how was that? How was that?
it's really funny we're on this topic because
Mm.
everything comes full circle. All
Mm.
of my guides are past and future versions of myself. So
Oh.
this guide was a past life version of me. He was male, and he's been one. I When I saw him, it was the first time I
Mm.
saw him. But when I felt his energy, I
Mm.
recognized it from my entire life, from my earliest memories of being a child to now. I recognized that energy, so I knew him. I didn't know
Oh.
at the time that he was me or I was him. I just knew that that was familiar. But every guide I have, other than family, is a past or future version of myself.
You know what, Britta? When I did astral travel first time, because I'm also into meditation, I'll tell you what happened. I was sleeping. It was a midnight time, like 12 or 1. I thought I woke up from my bed and I stood up. I realized that. But after a few seconds, immediately after that incident, I was like, oh, I didn't wake up. I was sleeping here. And then was I seeing a dream or something? But I actually felt that my body wake up. But later on, I realized that was not my physical body who woke up. That was my astral body. So someone told me, like some expert told me, you did astral travel. So that was first time when I was doing astral travel, and I was thinking that I'm just dreaming. But that was astral travel. Yes. So,
Wow.
so it's a wonderful experience doing this astral travel. So right now, how you are helping people? Are you helping them in the astral travel or meditation, or do you guide them on how to meditate? Yes.
So usually it's either the one-on-one coaching or
Mm-hmm.
past life regression. And the way that I do past life regression is a very light hypnosis. You're not really under any influence. I
Mm-hmm.
assist you in being able to relax enough
Mm-hmm.
to connect your subconscious and your conscious with that past life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So could you share some case with us, some real time example with us of your own experience or your client's experience?
Sure, I have a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'll share some of my favorites with you. So,
Okay.
when I walk people through past life regression, there's
Mm-hmm.
a practice arena that we go to. And
Mm-hmm.
essentially, I guide you into building your own safe space. And within that safe space, we learn what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. So, when you, before we even go into a past life, are you able to touch things? Can you feel them? Can you see them?
Mm-hmm.
If you pick them up, are they heavy? Are they light? What can you
Mm-hmm.
hear? What can you smell? So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of walk you through all the senses to immerse you as much as possible and kind of help you learn how to navigate that world. So that way,
Hmm.
when we go into a past life, we know, okay, this is the baseline, this is what you can do and can't do. And that's
Hmm.
helpful because, say, for example, in your safe space, if you could see a beautiful field and you could hear birds chirping, well, we know that you have those senses. But if you go into a past life and everything is dark, but you can hear, you might think that something went wrong, but maybe you're blind in that past life. So
Some
just
people, sorry to interrupt, some people says, oh, this is nothing, this is just hallucination or illusion or, you know, collective thoughts. What would you like to tell to those people that past life really exists when we see it in the dreams? It is real. So how would you justify that fact that people say, "Oh, this is nothing. This is just an imagination. It never happened." You know? Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes, please.
so there's definitely a lot of that, and
Mm-hmm.
understandably so, very much understandably. I have a lot of respect for people, and so I'm going to answer this in two ways. The
Mm-hmm.
first true way that I would um, have a conversation with somebody who feels that way is out of
Hmm.
respect for where they're coming from,
Yes.
because it is not something that I need to worry about. I don't need to justify it to them. I don't need to try
Mm-hmm.
to convince them because maybe they're not at a point where that's something that they can comprehend. Maybe that would shatter their belief system and it would be harmful. Maybe they're never going to know that in this life. And there are some people, they use the term wake up. I don't like that term, but just for simplicity, maybe they're never going to wake up in this life. They're never
You mean
going,
awaken?
right,
Awaken. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
know that. So I don't worry so much trying to convince anyone that it's
Mm-hmm.
real because that would be imposing on their free will and that doesn't
Yes.
serve anybody.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody has those feelings, but they're kind of on the fence and they're
Hmm.
open to conversation, how I would explain it to them is more about feeling. But it's very, very difficult to try to convince someone or tell them like this is real. It's something you have to experience for yourself. And so I'll ask them, would you like me to take you through a past life regression? Because that's the only way they'll know themselves, trust themselves in their judgment. So I really personally can't convince anyone. I can offer for them to experience it themselves, or I can respect where they're at. But I don't know that anybody can convince anyone that it's
Yeah. I have seen some past live session also. Some people they post it with a blur, and some people cry. Some people um they see something which they never saw in movies or in their this life. Of course, if they are crying, that would not be fake, right? They're crying. They are having that intense feeling connected to that particular place. And let's say for example, me never been to Paris, but I'm still seeing Paris in my past life, and I'm seeing everything related to Paris, maybe streets, houses, the culture. How would I know that without going there, without seeing Paris? Because maybe that is connected to my past life, right? That's why I'm able to see that and feel that. That's
Mhm.
another thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. And there are
And since
cases where things are provable with history. Like how many
hmm,
cases have there been where somebody has contacted their old family and then they're able
hmm,
to look at photographs and say exactly who those people are. You know,
yes.
there's so I feel like every experience is unique. I've never come across anybody's past life that's the same experience. So there's an unlimited number of ways that it can come across and be proven, or it might just be something that's inside of you only.
And some people don't they get scared going to past life, let's say if they're seeing a critical situation like a murder a fire, a war. So would they not be feeling afraid in that intense or critical case? And how do you handle that? And you know,
So
yeah.
I smiled because almost every single person that I've ever done a past life regression for is scared and nervous at first. And you don't know what it's going to be like. And am I going to experience trauma that I don't want to remember that's going to mess me up for the rest of my life? But when we start in that safe space and we start to practice with the different senses, before we move into that past life, we go through some exercises so that when you're moving into that past life, you are an observer. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can harm you. It's like watching a movie or a show. You're learning by observation only. You're not experiencing. And you will only receive what you're meant to receive and bring back into this life. And if we have to go through that 3 or 4 times before we move forward, we do. If it's somebody, and this has only happened maybe twice, they can't get over that fear in their mind and they're going to be too susceptible to experiencing it instead of being the observer, we don't move forward. And I've had one person, we've tried it 3 times and she was never successful because her fear kept holding her back. But I won't take anyone through until they can be an observer, because we don't need to be bringing trauma and scary situations and things like that back with us.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. One question always coming to my mind, and I'm sure it would be question of so many other people, is why don't we remember our past lives? Because what I think, Rita, if I remember my past life, my life would be so much simpler. How? Because I would know why I'm facing this challenge or issue, because I'm balancing my karma or balancing my energy. So why don't we remember our past lives? And why don't we remember our soul contract, which we signed with the spiritual guides before our birth? Please tell us.
So, as with each answer, there's multiple answers. And it's because every experience is different. There are people who come into this life remembering their past lives, little children who can tell you of their past life. They can talk about historical events that they would have no idea, like you said, wars and things like that a 2-year-old would have no clue about and can be proven. There are people that might remember it later on in life. There might be people that never remember it. And there are different ways that they can remember it, either through a dream or past life regression, or their guides can show them different ways. So the main reason for those who don't remember, which is the vast majority of us, is because it would interfere with our free will of, like you said, that soul contract, why we came here and what we came here to experience. Sometimes we can remember it later, even though it would have been helpful earlier in our life, but knowing that would have prevented us from having an authentic experience that allowed us to be and become who we needed in this life. And then we can remember it, and then now everything makes sense. Oh, okay, I understand now. Because of that happened, I was this way and this way and this way. But if you know it, it takes the authenticity away. If you know it ahead of time, at least,
Yeah. Okay. So that means universe wants us to learn. We will only learn when we are not aware of the situations. If we already know what would be the question of the exams, that would not be interesting and think of learning, right?
Correct.
Exam is a surprise. All the questions in the exams are not decided by us, decided by teachers, and we don't know what is going to come in the exam. In the same way, to learn, we don't remember past life. And what about those people who are able to see their past life? Like you are saying, we have to learn. So, like you are a PLR therapist. So, what would you say about those people who are able to see their past life? Is it decided by the universe for them that yes, it's a time for them to see past life? How does that work?
I think because of free will and
Hmm.
because of the contract that we sign with our guides and however that exactly goes before we come here, that we know what we're going to remember and when and why. And there are some people who I would say might remember their past lives not to benefit themselves,
Hmm.
but to benefit the masses. So if the masses need to hear and be convinced in order for the consciousness of the globe to rise, then you might have a innocent child
Hmm.
who speaks and tells you this story that they can't possibly know. And who can argue with that as a truth? So it might not even be for the benefit of that child in their life. They might forget it later on. But for the adults that are around them, for the community,
Hmm.
their eyes have been opened. And now they're moving into more of an awakening to where they can grow and they can learn, and it shifts their idea of reality. So sometimes it's for the benefit of the person experiencing it, but I would say a lot of times it's really for the masses.
Hmm. I am able to recall one thing. I completed my school many years back. Okay. And still, I'm seeing that school in my dreams. After every 2 weeks, I see dream of my school that I'm in the school. Um, though I don't have any deep or deep down feelings connected to that school. I totally 100% forget about school like we all do. We complete school, get busy in our lives, professional lives. Same here. But I'm not sure why I'm seeing that school too much in my dreams. Even after 2 weeks, I always see that school. So what could be that, Britta?
Many reasons. Do you mind if
Yeah,
I ask you a little couple of questions about it?
sure. Yes,
Okay.
please.
When you are in that school, are you
Mhm.
seeing it from the outside or are you seeing it from the inside?
I'm seeing from inside, always inside the school.
Okay. Is it always the same place within the school or is it different places?
Mm, different. Yeah, I think same place, I would say. Two, three different places, and two, three different places coming to my dreams in the repeated manner. Yeah,
Are you by
especially a stage. Especially, I saw the stage many times, the stage of the school. I
Mhm.
saw that many times. Yeah,
When you're there and you see the stage, you're viewing the stage or you're on the stage?
I think I'm viewing the stage. I'm not on the stage. Yeah,
Is there anybody that is on the stage or is it an empty stage?
most of the times I see the empty school. One, two times I have seen many people, crowd, big crowd. But many times I am always, it's just me in the school, no one else. Yeah. So
Okay. I'm trying to tap in and see if I can feel anything.
yeah. Yes, please.
Do you mind if we do a little exercise?
Yes, of course. Even our viewer would be able to see that. Yes, please.
Okay. So if you don't mind, I want you to remember whatever the most vivid dream of being in that school is. And you tell me, are you looking at the stage or are you somewhere else?
Let me recall, okay?
Okay.
Uh, the vivid dream I'm able to recall is um, I am passing by the stage.
Okay.
I am passing by the stage. Yeah.
And you're by yourself, there's nobody around?
No, I have seen one, two people. Oh, yes, one more dream I'm able to recall, Brita. I am a teacher in that school and I'm teaching children, like maybe 5, 6 year old children. That I saw 2, 3 times. Yes.
Okay. So remembering the one right now, the most vivid one, when you're walking past the stage and you see 2 or 3 people,
Yes.
I want you to become aware of how your body feels in that dream. Bring your awareness to your breath, bring your awareness to your heartbeat, and touch with your physical hands on your body where you feel something. If you feel something in your throat, or you feel something in your heart or your stomach, where in your body in the dream do you feel something?
Well, I remember one thing. I feel scared. It's not a good moment that, oh, sometimes we feel happy. Oh, we are in our childhood school. But in my dream, I'm scared. Why I'm here? Like I'm upset. Why my energy is getting me there? I have nothing to do over there. So my true feeling going to my school in my dreams is I'm not happy. I'm kind of, I'm feeling trapped. I'm trapped in that school. Yeah.
Okay. When you feel
Yes.
fear and you feel trapped, where do you feel it in your body?
Most impacted thing I will tell my heartbeat. Yeah.
Okay.
My heartbeat. Yes.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to have you place your hands on your heart,
Both of my hands.
both of your hands. Yep. And then I want you to close your eyes and take yourself back into that dream, remembering it, and try to feel that fear and anxiety in your heart. And you're just observing it. You're not experiencing it, but you're aware of it. And I want you to ask that version of you, the dream version of you, what does it need to be seen or heard or acknowledged?
Saying some past, past. I can hear past, past.
And you ask it to show you what you don't remember.
Oh, I'm seeing some girl. It's a back in the time era. That girl is in the traditional clothes, making some baskets, I think.
Is
And
she
I
a
see a
smith?
market. I see a market there in that place, a market.
Does it feel like the
Yeah.
market is where the school was? Okay,
Yes.
so she was before the school.
Yes.
Can you ask the dream version of you that showed you the girl, is the girl you or somebody else?
I feel a strong energy that that's me.
Okay.
That's me.
Is she the one who's trapped?
Oh. I'm seeing us. I'm strongly seeing, you know, the jewelry or something. I'm wearing lots of jewelry, like in the Indian tradition, and I'm working on the baskets. Yeah.
Do you think the girl will talk to you if you ask her, is she trapped?
She she's working on the baskets. She is not able to talk to me. Like I'm able to see her, and she's working on the baskets. That's all.
Okay. Can you see her environment? There are people around her.
It's a market, I think. It's a market. And this girl is having her own shop there.
Is anyone looking at her?
I feel a strong energy of a guy. A boy is looking at her, standing uh, far. He's standing far and looking at her, but this girl is doing the work. Something like that.
Does his energy feel overpowering or controlling?
Overpowering, controlling, yes. Because when I look at his face, it seems like he wants to control her. Something like that.
Can you ask it to show you or reveal to you if there's anything else that you need to know or remember?
Oh, what? Okay. So I'm getting one message. His energy is sometimes getting my energy there to remember the past lives. This is what I'm getting in my messages.
Would you like to cut that cord of control that he has through the lifetimes?
Yes.
I want you to picture his energy and picture your energy. And whatever color your energy is, just allow it to be. Whatever color his energy is, allow it to be. And there is a connection, a line between the two energies. And in the center, the colors are intertwined. They create a third color. I want you to picture like a knot coming undone, the fibers undoing themselves and releasing, so that third color changes back into two different colors, his energy and your energy. They're no longer merged, they're no longer connected. As you watch the fibers of that knot come undone, once it has been complete, you can tie a knot at the end of his energy. And on the end of yours, whatever feels better, either tying a knot on yours or leaving it free. Whatever feels the easiest, the calmest, the most peaceful. But his energy, we're going to tie a knot on the end. And he can no longer control through different lifetimes.
I see that guy is turning back and walking away, something like that. I see myself smiling. It's me, same face like me, smiling. But the clothes are different.
Do you have that same feeling of fear in that school anymore?
No, not now. I feel confident.
Before you open your eyes, I would thank that version of yourself for showing you what you needed to see. And if it feels right, give yourself a hug. So that version of you, the school you and the you now, can hug and know you're safe and you have your back. you're there for her now when you couldn't be there for her before. And how does she feel?
So happy and emotional.
And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes again.
I was totally disconnected from Toronto, Canada, and I was really in that school. Also, I'm getting a little bit emotional now because I was totally into that scene.
Yeah. And that's a simpler version of what I do for past life regression, but dreams are actually easier to tap into because it's an in-between.
Oh, you know what? Now I recall the dress, the attire I saw on myself, like Indian traditional. I saw that once in my dream, but not in that school. But I saw that version of myself in my dream, and I thought maybe this is not me, or I watched some movie or something. But now same girl I saw in my in this practice today.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brita.
You're welcome.
You are awesome.
I enjoy doing that because I don't have the answers. You have the answers, but I just help you ask the questions. And if you get stuck, we navigate and we pivot so that
Hmm.
you get the answers because you're the only one who has the answers because it's your past life. I don't have those memories or access to that energy. So when you ask me, why do
Hmm.
people have those dreams or why do you have this reoccurring dream? I couldn't answer it for you, but I could take you to where your answers are.
Thank you so much. Awesome. I'm feeling so light.
Yay.
When you told me to cut the threads and yeah, when he was turning back, I was feeling so much light now also in my body. I was feeling something is being taken off from my shoulders. Some load. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that means we are carrying our previous life loads a lot in this soul, and that affects our body too, even in
exactly.
this life.
Exactly. And sometimes it can be something that you've healed from. You've already dealt with that, but it's just this residual. So the best example I can think to give you is when you have a candle lit and then
Yes.
soot gets on the wall or the ceiling, you can blow the candle out. The candle's no longer burning, but there's still this residual soot that needs to be cleaned off.
Hmm.
That's kind of what you were experiencing. There's this residual heaviness that has followed you into this life where I don't think he was an entity or a consciousness who was actively controlling you in this life.
Hmm.
There was just that last little piece that needed to be released and now to no longer affect you. And I'm excited to see where you notice it in your life moving forward. If there's things you were afraid of or maybe self-sabotaging behaviors that you don't have anymore because of that. So if you can give me an update in a couple weeks, I'm excited to know what it actually affects in your life.
Sure. So by doing this past life and therapies, can we know who are my close ones, who were my close ones in the past lives? Let's say I have a abusive partner or abusive parents. It could be anything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
can we know them also, who they were, why they are doing this to us? Is it possible?
It is. I will say I have never controlled a past life
Hmm.
experience. I am not able to pinpoint a specific past life and take you there. I'm
Hmm.
not able to meet a specific person and take you there. It's all based upon your agreement, your soul agreement, where you're at, what you're able to receive, what you need
Mm-hmm.
to receive. Because I've done that before with other clients. We started in one direction, and literally she thought she wanted to have a memory of a past life, and her guides interrupted the
Mm-hmm.
past life regression, and they took her off the planet, and they had a conversation with her based upon what she needed to hear right now. So we were able to go to a past life, but before she even encountered anything in that past life other than just the street and the courtyard, there was like this, it's almost like a SWAT team came in. There were so many guides that stopped us and blocked our path and essentially said, no, she can't.
Mm-hmm.
And they took her somewhere else, and they answered her questions. She had a lot of questions and they answered them for her. So she was able to get from the experience what she wanted, but not in the way she wanted. So you can definitely meet those people and learn who they are, but only if it coincides with whatever's going to serve you best for the experience.
And like one more thing coming to my mind, Brita, is like you told us, we make our soul contracts, right? Some people they make the soul contract for let's say 70, 80 years, and in the middle of the soul contract, let's say their life is full of challenges, and in the middle they say, oh, I am done, please leave me. So can we change our soul contract even after uh we are born on this earth and we already spent 40 years on this earth? Can we change our soul contract? Can we say, oh, some of the challenges I can pass to my next birth? Can I do like that?
Yeah. You are the first person that I've ever encountered to ask that question, and it is fantastic. Absolutely, yes, you can change it. When you think about it, we come into this life, Earth is very unique as far
Hmm.
as other ways to experience things. When you come here, you're a co-creator. There's all these other consciousnesses. And yes, we can get to where we're all the same, but we'll just say there's all these consciousnesses, and they're there to
Hmm.
experience what they came to experience.
Hmm.
And you might have somebody who is a controlling or abusive energy in this life, and I can't tell you why, but it's whatever they needed to experience what they experienced. But their free will interferes with your free will. And now they have created something you did not choose to experience. But because there's so many different free wills co-creating,
Hmm.
they came in and changed your course. You can choose,
Yes.
do I continue on with this unique experience that's not exactly what I wanted, or does this negate what I came here to experience? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be done with this. And you can. So, and there's many, many different ways for that happens. Car accidents, or you got sick, or like my grandpa, he was
Hmm.
99 and he was in good health for a 99-year-old, but
Hmm.
he got sick and he just decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't have it in me to fight this fight. I don't
Hmm.
really have much more to live for. His wife had already
Hmm.
passed. He's already lost one of his kids, one of his grandkids. So he
Yeah.
was done. And he
Hmm.
pretty much just told my aunt and uncle goodbye. And then he went. He just,
So that means we can change our soul contract and we can keep it pending for our next lives,
mm-hmm,
right? Yeah. Nice to hear.
yeah.
Yeah. And this forgiveness prayer, um, how important it is to our life. Forgiveness is same as sorry, saying sorry, or it is beyond, way beyond than that.
Way beyond.
How come?
True forgiveness is a settling within you, it's a peace, and it's an understanding. Forgiveness is the closest that I can explain what unconditional love feels like. It's not to justify the actions of yourself or others. To add to this, real quick, have you ever heard of Brene Brown?
Sorry about that, Rita.
Sorry, have you heard of Brene Brown?
No.
Okay. So
Yeah.
she just done TED Talks, and she has books that she has written about
Hmm.
shame and how shame blocks you up.
Hmm.
When we feel shame about something that we've done to someone, to ourselves, and we don't forgive ourselves, that shame prevents us from being able to move forward. We will always
Exactly.
have a handicap because we don't feel worthy, or we don't, whatever the judgment is that we have about ourselves.
Hmm.
And it's far more important to forgive yourself than it is to forgive others, because when we forgive ourselves, everything else just kind of falls into place. You can't not forgive others when you have fully, truly forgiven yourself. It's just a byproduct that comes of it. And if you truly want to live a life of freedom, you have to forgive.
And can we say forgiveness prayers to ones to whom we have done anything bad, or let's say they have done anything bad, I still have that bad corner for them. Oh, they were cheaters or something, they're liars, you know. Can I even make their energy good for me by saying this forgiveness prayer and cut that cord
You can,
for them?
but again, this might sound strange, but
Hmm.
bear with me.
Hmm.
If somebody does something to hurt you and you have angerness and bitterness and hatred towards them for what they did, and it's really
Yes.
hard for you to forgive them because they did something unforgivable, that that prayer might not work, might not help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Because
we
if
have,
we talk, sorry to interrupt, if we talk about some big crimes, like some people they are child abusers, some people, you know, they kill they're serial killers, we can't forgive them, no, because they did out of imagination, you know. For them it would be difficult. Yeah, I totally understand that. But I'm talking about lower level things, like for example personal things. Let's say someone cheated on me, or you know, someone tried to betray me,
mhm,
you know, one to one, not
yep,
like the serial killers or child abusers, big
right,
things.
right. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about as well. So
Mm-hmm.
say that somebody cheated on you, and
Mm-hmm.
in order to forgive them, you have to forgive yourself. And you might feel like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I
Mm-hmm.
forgive myself? The thing that we forgive is our belief that we're victims,
Mm-hmm.
our belief that somebody had power over us to hurt us to begin with, our belief
Yes.
that we are weak enough to be hurt by somebody else, the belief that I owned that person for them to even cheat, a belief that they owned me and a part of my joy and happiness and fullness of myself belonged to them,
Mm-hmm.
because none of that is true. So we forgive ourselves for having bought into the belief and the misconception and misinterpretation that we are a victim. We forgive ourselves for having bought into the belief that that person had any kind of ownership and control over our value, our worth, our joy, our peace, our wholeness.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Of when you forgive yourself, you can't help but forgive them. It's just a byproduct because you realize that once you are healed, it doesn't matter what anybody else did. That is up to them to heal themselves and deal with their own issues and their own karma. But it does not affect you because you already addressed that and forgave yourself. So there's nothing for it to hold on to that makes you feel bad anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. It's all about peace of mind because when we do this act, we in ourselves feel peace of mind. We are able to find that peace of mind that we all are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We took off that burden of hate, revenge, and we get ourselves free from all those bad feelings.
Exactly.
Totally understandable. Thank you so much, Brita, for coming down to this podcast. In the last, do you have any message for our viewers and for our audience?
I would say for everyone that's watching right now,
Mhm.
even though this might sound cliche, you're here for a reason. Spirit drew you to this channel for a reason, drew you to this message for a reason.
Mm.
Trust yourself and trust your guides because where you're going right now is leading you exactly where you want to be for your freedom and happiness.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us this lovely message and to all our viewers. We greatly appreciate your time coming here and guiding our viewers and audience for their best life. Thanks again, Brita.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.